I think Jordan in the Discord, I know Jordan in the Discord was saying, the max profit on the Iron Condor that you can clearly see at what was it, 5105 and 5015. Max profit was 5060, and we ended the day 9 points within that. So they were 9 points off max profit, whoever sold that monster.
I mean,
So that definitely explains it.
you can see it. I was actually when I did get up, I was thinking about a play. I was thinking about just doing a butterfly at 50 because it was centered between the two. Geez, where's Epic Pin? The two big gamma profiles we had on the edge.
Pro tip, guys, bribing your kids to stay quiet does not work.
All right. Then 75 looked like it was gonna pop up at the end of the day, and then that fooled me. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean it did pop up at the end of the day. And we
Yeah,
went straight to it, what, twice, and then it's
yeah.
kept
It just
rejecting,
died out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Yeah, I did the same, Glenn. I hit a butterfly, and then I sold a put spread like super far out the money, and then when it started dropping, I had a bigger one. I think mine was like 10 wide, so it costs a little bit more. So I was trying to offset the cost with sold puts, and then I had a stop on it just in case. And then when it dropped end of day, the volatility going up made the stop go off, and then the day just ate like 30 seconds left, and then the price just stopped at 50. I think it was like a 45.50 put spread. It sucked. Yeah, after that, I should just stay in bed all day. I was tired enough to sleep. But even on ES, you could see on ES, we were like literally just in the center of the volume profile.
hmm We
I
just kept
think.
bouncing from side to side.
Yeah.
It would have been a
If
good
it,
day to scout feuds.
yeah. Oops. I think after yesterday it was a ton of CTA selling
Mm.
into that giant drop. And then today was probably a ton of sold whatchamacallit, sold options from yesterday
Did we get
that
the gamma squeeze today?
What?
uh
Did we get the negative gamma squeeze today, like end of day?
kind
No,
of, I mean, it
I don't think so.
Okay.
after Powell talked it kind of happened, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
fair.
75 because that would have been the target what over here when it popped up on Vana, and then it hit like the sweet spot and then pulled the price up.
Yeah, I guess you could argue we did it, but it just came, since Powell was at
Yeah.
what, like 12:15, since or 1:15, since it came early. This is the shit that we see. We see the pop
I mean,
squeeze,
when he's
and then
talking,
the drop.
when he's talking about anything significant, I mean, everything kind of goes out the window, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, their normal hedging mechanics are definitely, they come in earlier than we would expect on non-news days.
I mean, yeah,
But yeah, for feud scalping, it was pretty money.
yes, even I guess after afternoon it actually started moving pretty good, but that's still like right in the middle of the volume profile for the entire freaking day.
hmm
Yeah, Glenn, that's kind of what negative gamma days are kind of really unpredictable.
That
Well,
is true.
So yeah, end of day, if volatility doesn't or continues up like we saw yesterday, it's pretty much, you know, not really going to have the reversion as well,
Mhm.
like we've seen other days. And today it didn't even really come down that much. Like this is not
Mm-mm.
that much at all.
Yeah.
It just went right back up. It was still like at 40 something, or it was over 35 the entire day, I think. I think this point it was like 34, and then, yeah, it just went right back up. Oh, I think it has something to do with Vana.
Yeah.
No, it's the IV suite. If I add VIX, that's VIX, the orange one. Was today the expiration?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay, that's what's going on then.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the IV suite's kind of like VIX in a way, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure tomorrow's beige book too,
oh yeah, we'll see something
which
tomorrow.
is typically fun. Yeah, I think it's at 2.
And if it's like last expiration, we'll have a rocket end of day. That one was wild. That one had like a 10 baggers in it right at the end of the day. The last 30 minutes. Oh,
2:30.
it's
Wide volatility sweep.
it's just this. If you want to do it with VIX, you just have to do what I did. Where you add it. I'll turn it off so you add it to a new pane, and then you right click it down here, and you go move to existing pane above. Otherwise, it'll like
Oh, it gets
it'll
so
size
wonky when you just
it'll
add it
size them.
here.
Yeah, it'll size them in really weird.
We got 30 people in here. Is there anybody new in here?
Yeah.
If you're new, feel free to ask questions. Don't shy away just because you're asking a beginner question. We're happy to help with that. That's what we're here for.
We need to start. We need
Hmm.
to like we really need to start our Traders Anonymous, have people start coming
Yeah.
up and talking.
I mean,
Yeah.
My name is Fatty and I'm addicted to the markets. Get
Netflix.
Rumple in here. Hi, I'm Rumple and I'm
Yeah.
addicted to buying puts. But yeah, man, someone asked some questions.
Yes.
That's the point of all this. You can ask questions about today, you can ask questions about
Anything in general, anything you
yeah,
want.
anything, any of the modules that we use, setups, whatever.
Well, look, we actually ended at the highest put strike today. What's your take on the
Aggregate
aggregate
data
data?
for the end of the week.
Usually, when you look at OPEX, it's
Let's
kind of
take a
just
peek.
it's
Yeah, it's
really just strikes 50 out from each other. Yeah,
Whoa.
see.
They moved a lot of their I don't know if you guys saw my screenshot for Wednesday in the Discord the other day, but it looks completely different. They changed it up.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of it moved down. The Vanna flip points where the volatility of the sport is like even. I forget exactly. I think I had a picture of it, but it's where
Come on, man.
like gamma neutral is kind of an important spot. It's where it means their port's like completely balanced. So if we have like the sine wave, right? Like they want it to end there. They don't really care about gamma so much sometimes because they can just keep edging. But to keep the vol of their port perfectly aligned is kind of the goal.
Yo, will you go to just Wednesday real quick, Liquid?
Just tomorrow.
Think.
Yeah, 50
Yeah,
35 and 50 20.
yeah, but
35 never
look.
went away.
Ow, what is happening?
No, the charm flip point isn't as important. Charms like the delta decay. So that's you know that's gonna move around a lot because the market participants are gonna have different dates for the expirations. Oh geez,
You see that difference?
Yeah.
was that for Friday?
No, that was Wednesday.
Oh, this morning?
Yesterday at 4:27.
Oh my God.
That's why I commented on it because it was like that looks insane. And now it's I mean it's completely different.
Yeah, I think a lot of today uh, was selling off of positions and then got
Hmm.
yeah tons of neutral
Probably
positioning.
rolling them for next OPEX.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, when I looked at the verticals on TOS, both sides were just 50-50. So
Right. Yeah, man, I gotta check that out. That was a smart idea.
yeah, I don't know if it's always like that, but
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'll have to,
But I've never even thought to look at
yeah.
that. Um, yeah,
And
did
you
you guys
check,
go over the Vanna flip point? Sorry, I was so
yeah, I kind of,
confused
yeah.
about Wednesday's difference in data. But yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, I know you already touched on it, like, but I'll drop in my piece. It's basically where dealers are going to profit the most based on volatility with respect to delta. So what they've sold, what they've bought, that is where that is the volatility that they've priced in is end of the day right there. And that's why it moves around because their positioning moves around. And so as their positioning moves around, you can kind of, try and anticipate where it's going.
usually for fun, how do we consider the largest snag and positive? Yeah, I don't know if I can remember the last time it actually worked really well. But usually, if we're kind of like more in a positive fawn environment and there's a large negative negative one like this, it's actually why I picked 75 today. At some point, when we're decreasing or increasing, or the volatility drops off, these negative Vana strikes up above will act like magnets for the price, and that's why 75. Here, we'll show 75 today. Why 75 was so important because when it hits, let's see, that was 75 before we actually went up. When it hits zero point 0.8 slash zero point 0.2 for like the calls and the puts, it has the strongest effect, magnetizing effect. So sometimes when we're like 25 points away, usually is the sweet spot until later in the day it'll get smaller. But when we're like 25 away, like today, right? We were like at 50. That's the price right
Mhm.
here. Yeah, 50, 51, and then like it magnetized up, and it did it twice before there was like kind of like a sell off, right? And usually it happens when we go. It's more likely to happen when we go from negative Vana down into positive, or we fall through a lot of negative Vana. It'll kind of like pull the price back up. But usually the volatility needs to decline. These days, past 2 days, it has not gone down. That's usually like the end of day rallies we see in negative gamma. It's point. Yeah, it's just the options chain.
It's whatever the delta is at that strike, which your broker should be able to tell you that. Even Weeble's got it. Um, but Matt, to answer your question, so you're talking about Gex and speed dropping off, right? Okay, so as the day goes by, right, the gamma is slowly falling off because the deltas are slowly falling off. So as that delta decays, that means gamma is decaying as well. Once we get closer to it, however, it starts to grow exponentially, which is why, it's kind of the same reason that speed works so well towards the end of the day or during this week, because this week of every month has the most expiries, so you can get these violent moves or these big moves like we had yesterday. um because as basically like for yesterday we tapped one of the higher strikes, and so then as we start falling, the speed down low starts to become more and more magnetic. And the reason for that is because as we get closer to it, the deltas rise, which makes the gamma rise, which makes the speed rise, so on and so forth. And it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you're exactly right. As we move further away from something, it will look smaller. As we get closer to it, it will get larger.
Also today and yesterday, it's been really wide, like you can see in the today. This is extremely wide because we're like in a really high Vana environment. So
Mhm.
the deltas spread further out. So when Vana goes up, the delta across all these strikes flattens out more. So we get like a wider, much wider, much harder to predict
Mhm.
gamma profile for the entire market. Let's see here. If you use TOS at all, this is this is what I'm talking about for point 0.8 and point 0.2. If you look at the deltas, right? Look at one side, and it's gonna be harder to look at this because that's end of day. But for tomorrow, you can see out here at 50.15, it's 0.82 and 0.19. So between point 0.8 and 0.85, and this side needs to be between 0.15 and 0.20. That's like the strongest effect. You can see it's kind of usually equal distance on both
Find out.
sides.
Yep.
It starts out, about 45 points away. And then as the day goes on, it'll get closer and closer, right? Because the deltas of these strikes further out will start going up. It kind of creates like the wall in effect that we see on Vana, right?
Yeah, Matt, to answer that question, is there a way to see if the position sizing is actually reducing at key strikes as we move away rather than just seeing the impact of it being further away? So it's based off of OI or in our case DDOI, right? So that OI or DDOI does not change intraday. It can't change intraday because it's the positions that were carried over into that day. So that you can't actually see changing, if that makes sense. Right. So that OI and that DDOI is going to stay constant throughout the day. So the only thing changing in the equation is the gamma or the speed or the Vanna or delta or chart, whatever it is. The the position size or like the options volume from the previous day isn't going to change. Sure, you can see what the options chain is doing at that strike on today's data, if you just look at the volume, but you're not going to see the position itself change. The only thing that's changing is the gamma, what it's being multiplied by. No, you can't. You can't see what's changing in open interest. That's kind of the whole
It,
rub, right?
we could do volume divided by OI is about the closest thing.
Yeah, but you can't I mean, there's no broker tells you, how
That's why.
like what dealers books, like how dealers books are changing throughout the day. But that's why we use DDOI because it's the best guess to um you
Yeah,
know, to what the
exactly.
dealer's book is going into the day and what they're going to need to hedge for. But yeah, OI does not update or change throughout the day. It gets posted at like 12:30 at night or 1 a.m. and it stays the same.
And that's how they're calculating DDOI. So DDOI is a longer term rolling of OI with put dominant. Not really. I mean, if you consider it,
The calls are just more spaced out. The puts are more
yeah.
concentrated.
Well, like I said, due to the really high Vana, the delta across everything is stretched out as comparison to what we've seen in the past, where it's much smaller, right? Usually, it's just kind of like something like this, or a smaller area, but there's calls all the way up to like 5,200, like way up there, and then the lowest puts below 5,000. But also, we could even, say this is skewed. I know someone was saying there's, after a big VIX move, an 83% chance that there's a correction in the following 2 days. And if we consider this is kind of like hella skewed. This is just going to go back up, especially if all these puts close.
To answer your question, Matt, yes and no. Right? So the what's important for the next day is what the dealer's book looks like, and that's what DDOI looks to estimate or recreate is the dealer's book. So like DDOI is not OI. You're not gonna find the same values in OI as you are on the DDOI chart. It's a different calculation. So it basically I, I won't get too deep into it because I don't know exactly what goes into the equation, but it's trying to figure out what the dealer's book looks like in regards to what OI is. Yeah, of course we can see data coming through on options data in real time, but you're seeing volume, you're not seeing OI. And you can't determine, who's buying, who's selling, because there's a lot of participants in the market, right? Like I could be buying contracts, I could be selling contracts, Liquid could, Crispy could, Geo could. We're not dealers, so that's not going to change their books.
Yeah.
So
Um,
you can't, and also the DDOI is based on sells and buys. So they're determining, through that equation, they're determining what the dealers have sold, what the dealers have bought. As you can see, the majority of positions typically are bought by dealers because, the largest participants in the market have realized over time selling options is a lot more lucrative than buying them. So that's why dealers are typically long those strikes. So when dealers are short a strike, that is, those are the strikes I pay a little bit more close attention to. And that would be a negative bar on the DDOI chart.
The options chart that on Excel is literally just TOS of option volume. It's not anything special. And then it takes an aggregate number from TOS that might just be specific to TOS for the sell percentage
Yep.
of each. It's not sure exactly how it works because it works on spreads too.
Someone asked in Speed Week if there are two large speed levels. Do you usually wait for one speed level to hit before entering a position or the other speed level to hit? Um, I mean, you got to kind of watch how it's gonna react and how the other level is reacting. But when it gravitates to a main speed strike, the other one tends to diminish, if especially if it's far apart. And I mean, me personally, in a situation like that, I'm looking for it to move away from the main speed strike and then retrace back to it or revert back to it at some point. I'm not necessarily looking for it to go to another speed strike unless if it's pretty significant.
I mean, today with the volatility so high, It was a seller's market, so everybody was just selling options. Like 100%, like we've said in the past, the condor thing. Usually it's not so wide. It works better in a negative environment, super econ. From what we've seen in the past, especially like based off yesterday. Because yesterday you could have just picked the strike in the morning and you know, could have bought them at freaking open, I think. That's right, it didn't work in the morning for a bit. Like you could even see, like in the past, in August, you're in one of the only other OPEXs were in a negative GEX environment, and in the morning you could literally see the target for the day, and you could just wait a little bit for like the chop in the morning. It actually moved the exact same way. Like Thursday in August looked exactly like yesterday. It was almost down to the T. I think it moved down a lot more, but it had like the same exact like up and down. Like it like at Euro close it popped, and then after Euro close it just died. But that entire time, that 65 speed look in the morning, even when the positive gets above, like right as soon as it dies, and we're kind of going lower, it's
Yeah,
like
look what
65 right
grows.
there.
Yep.
It was even there,
And 50 right behind it. It
Yeah,
was there right off open.
yeah,
Uh, and then, since we hung out along those higher speed strikes,
yeah.
off open, in my mind, those were hedged. So I was just waiting for an entry to aim for 65, and I got it at around 40.
That was such a good entry.
Yeah. That was solid.
That was super solid, bro.
Oh man. What's funny is I still sold $13
Yo.
too early. Oh
Hey,
yay.
that super econ, I just remember that day because I made like $50,000.
Uh, let's go.
I need another one of those days. Oh,
Tell me about it.
yeah,
Baggers on baggers on baggers.
yeah. Oh, like I said, man, I took that butterfly at 75, but it didn't pan out. And then I sold some fucking puts like way out the money after we were going up. And then in the last 5 minutes, the volatility went up and it stopped me out like right before fucking close. It sucked. I was sitting there with my finger on it, and then like crap. I was like, should I put the stop on? Should I not do it? And I was like, you know what? I'll put the stop on. And it's like right after I decided to do it, it went up and hit my stop and freaking closed. And then the market closed like right at 50. Jordan, what's that I mean? Oh, just using key levels. Yeah, today, like I said, we were just in the volume profile of ES, the middle. Like literally when I woke up kind of late, I was like I said, I almost just opened a butterfly right in the middle of the freaking thing. Yeah, the stuff Jordan's using is almost like stuff he used for futures trading with just levels from previous tops or previous bottoms and yeah, fair value gaps. Yeah, because he's looking at ES.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, that's right. That's kind of like what the whole point of this data is. And the longer you watch it, the more you'll kind of just like have a feel for it and, not even really be able to explain why. You'll just like, know implicitly. Um, so that's kind of like that's what Geo does when he takes a position. That's what I do when I take a position is I'm trying to anticipate, you know, what dealers are going to do when price hits X or price hits Y. And I'm going to anticipate what gamma will look like if that move does happen, or what Vanna will look like if that move does happen. I mean, that's almost like that's where the magic is, right? Is like, yeah, you can react to it for sure, and you can probably have a higher percentage win rate reacting to it rather than anticipating it, if I'm being perfectly honest. But, that's the difference in a 100% play or 800% play.
Mhm.
I think XVX data still works on NQ. QQQ doesn't have enough strikes. But also, NQ can move ahead of ES.
And
But
yeah, Matt Geo's talked about that, like having a
mm,
slider for price. So if you like slid price around, it would show you, what Gex was gonna do based on how price moved. And that, I mean, it's a doable thing. It's just, in my opinion, not super necessary.
I mean, that also goes into
But
kind of what they're working with the algo and the predictive models that they're working on. So, I mean, that's really what you guys are kind of getting into there. But you can always, right now, without waiting for them to put that together, that's what we study and what we try to do every day.
Mhm.
Any advice for coming off my best 10-day stretch? I mean, even if you had a good 10 days, there's nothing wrong with not knowing what's going on the last three. I mean, you're not going to have to trade every single day. It's, there's going to be days that you should not trade. I mean,
and
and
the
today is probably one of
the past 3 days have been kind of strange days, right? I mean, if you look at this is Thursday, right? Thursday was pretty much just kind of like a squeeze. Pretty sure this was easy to see. This was probably positive gamma. So we just bounced off some point, then squoze all day. Oops. And then the 3 days following are just like giant sell-offs. And keep in mind Monday we had the news over the weekend of Iran, even though ES like squoze overnight. We just ended up dumping all day. I got caught off guard by that too. Speed hasn't worked so well, um, like it like it did on yesterday for a while. And then today, volatility was so freaking high. If volatility is over 30% all day, it's gonna be kind of a messy day. And more than likely, like Patty was saying earlier, the bigger players are gonna take advantage of it and just constantly sell options. And then we're just stuck in this like tiny channel.
prices were mega juiced.
They probably sold them yesterday, right?
Yep.
Because the volatility is so high. Look at this. Like it's topped off. It's still as high. Mm. And tomorrow's expiration. I'm not sure if that has much to do with it.
Yeah, Tom, my advice for coming off your best 10-day streak is take some of that money out.
Yeah,
Go back to, a smaller size
Yo,
and keep playing with that.
fuck.
Um, just play with house money.
exactly, Glenn. Yeah. Past few days, geopolitics, Fed speaks, and earnings. Yeah. Especially in negative gamma, it's going to be weird. Mm.
Geopolitics indeed. Yeah, geopolitics. Move the market.
You know, the market heard you talking about your crypto coins last night.
Yeah, dude, what was up with that? I fucking lost. Chat, I lost. Oh man.
Yeah, Tom, on negative gamma days, you just wait till the end of the day. And if, like, like yesterday, it doesn't happen, you just don't trade that day. You know, it's hard to do if it's what your primary source of income is. At the same time, you're gonna like save money instead of lose it. So it's probably better just to not trade. And today, it happened right at 11 Pacific. Get those like big ups and downs. And any of these you could probably scalp, but when volatility's so high, like, can you afford to pay for those options? Yeah, Glenn, that's exactly what. Yeah. So with VIX so high, yeah, it's exactly why we stayed in a freaking tight channel all day. If it's more lucrative to sell a position as opposed to buy it, bigger institutions are probably going to sell it. They do whichever is more profitable. Because probability-wise, they could probably, narrow it down to them both almost being the same, uh, probability win rate. But whichever one pays more, they're just going to take that. Because they have so much money anyways. Just keep throwing money at it. That's like what we see with like put sellers on these squeeze days. I'll just be constantly selling puts, like all day. And they'll be even selling puts like it strikes up here when we're down here. And then they can keep selling them to the point where it's like the premium, even if it ends below their puts end in the money, they're still going to end positive, like massively cash positive. Doing all right, Super Econ. Wish today was better, but whatever.
My brain's gonna explode. That's how I'm doing. I'm teetering on the edge of punching my wall and punching out my window slash monitor. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be like FPS Doug at the end of that video. Can you just leave the room for a second, man? Just leave.
I used to have like a box of keyboards and mice next to my next to my desk, but I ran out.
Oh my god.
Mm, 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 mm. You can rage quit the market, dude.
Might have to try it. I mean, if you wake up in the morning, the data looks like crap, just don't just walk away. If you come back in the afternoon, you might be able to catch something better. If it looks like dog shit in the morning.
Listen, if it looks like shit, play it when the premiums are cheap, man.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Then you can afford to lose it.
Mm, 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 mm.
You guys never felt what it was like to lose 100 times in a row on Kid Chameleon on Sega Genesis.
Dude, those old games were not made
Bro,
to be beaten. Like
we're
fucking
changed to this level of
Battletoads, dude. God. Sega Genesis. Yeah, Battletoads too. I think it was the second one.
If the game
Trained,
looks like girls' teeth, you wouldn't smash. Hell yeah.
highly trained in frustration.
Yeah, two giant snaggletooth teeth. You sell your horse.
Just give me the horse, bro.
Write it off. Give it a crispy.
Oh, Gio, you sell your horse? Fucking no. That shit's going to the glue factory, I'm telling you right now.
Just give
I
it
got,
to me, bro.
dude, I want to set it free, bro. I want
Send
Dude,
it to the box.
bring it to LA in the
Uh,
downtown and
to
just let it
set it
go.
free.
that horse wants to live in the Bronx, bro.
Yeah. Be free. I
Get
might
it in
just
Southeast.
set it loose in Amish country.
Take him down to Tijuana, man.
True. Just
Live
fucking
the
let him
good
go.
life.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I need to sell this shit because it's just having to go feed it and shit. Just, bro. I don't even
Yeah,
feed myself.
yeah, Glenn. It like I was saying yesterday. Actually looked almost exactly like August Thursday before OPEC. Where the hell is? It was like almost the exact down to the T, the movements. I compare it. Like, look at this day. Like almost the same thing at 9, right? It had like the pop after Euro close, and then it just freaking nosedive at freaking 10 o'clock.
Once I crack the code on this, bro, it's legit fucking over. Oh, if I can get this shit. How much for the horse? 25K.
Compton Catholic.
25K for the horse. That's $25,000 glue right there, bro. Bruh, I get horses for like $300. Yeah, this guy gets ponies for $300. Nah, I need to get rid of it. So if anyone wants a fucking horse for 25K, let me know. Let me see if someone wants it. Dude, that'd be awesome. I need to get this shit out of here. Horse can kick rocks. Um, nice. How's everyone's day though? Good? Nice. Mine was a series of getting to my computer, working on whatever I was working on, like a little project, getting mad, going back into bed, sleeping, getting back up, going back to my desk, getting mad again, going back to sleep.
That's
I
like
think
my usual day.
I went back and forth to my bed like 4 or 5 times throughout the day. Um, I think I'm almost done though. I just need to see what the best option is. I think it's just gonna be trial and error. Need to see what the fuck data points I need to get the z-scores for. Fucking I was thinking about writing on my wall.
So you can see the writing on the wall?
Yeah, just start writing a bunch of shit on the wall in marker. Just everyone starts saying Stars of David and shit on my wall. Upside down crosses. Fucking time machine building. Charlie Manson did that. Yeah, he did. Um, But what I'm trying to build is ideally what I want is to display like two, maybe three levels on the dashboard that are like reversion levels. So, and you can basically these levels tell you whether or not they're bullish or bearish reversion levels. So, level one, right? Bullish reversion level, take calls there. Level two, bearish reversion level, take puts there. Type of shit, you know? That's what I'm trying to build. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Fucking, uh,
Did you try out the Vol OI?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to get it done. Right now, I think everything's set except the uh like the z-score variable, because what I'm trying to do is I don't know whether or not I take the four different plotted levels, get the average between all four, and or what is it? Take the four levels, get the standard deviation between the four levels, and then plot the z-scores that way, or take the entire chain, plot the z-scores via the entire chain, and whatever one is close, whatever level's closest to the to a one z-score or a negative one z-score gets plotted. I have to figure it out. I don't fucking know. I don't know what to do. Um, Either or, I can do both pretty fast and see what happens. Nice. What were you guys talking about while I was gone?
Nothing, just the ups
The
and
day?
downs. Yeah.
Nice. That works. Fuck.
Why it was choppy, why it's volatility. I think yesterday was like a CTA sell-off too, to be honest, because we've switched from an uptrend to a downtrend. I'd have to look at this on the daily. I can actually turn off the drawings, the 4-hour chart. Yeah, like our trends completely changed. We're no longer in an uptrend. Of course, bring back all the fucking lines. But CTA's momentum trade, if anybody's ever heard of CTAs, and they sell futures, and there's been like a bunch of them waiting on the sideline to sell. So when the market actually starts going down, they're going to hop in and they're going to dump lots of money in unbelievable amounts. I think Goldman Sachs said it was like their target or their mid target was 4,880 or something like that. So it's possible we're seeing
Hey, that's
we're,
my target.
yeah, we're seeing the beginning of that, right? Like, if you look at this fucking uptrend, Jesus Christ. Like the trend has noticeably changed. And like the volatility, look at that. How high it's gone.
Oh, you know what I was using? I was using a new indicator for just ease of use, I guess. For realized vol. There's a R vol indicator, but there's also a gamma indicator on like whatever broker you're using, I think. Like in the ticker symbol gamma is like a realized volatility index, and then ticker symbol R vol is a different type of volatility index or realized volatility index, which is it's CBOV's realized volatility index. Pretty interesting.
Oh, of
Whoa, is that new?
I've never noticed it before until like a couple days ago.
course it doesn't show up on trading. Oh,
No shit. Yeah, it does. I've got it on training. It looks like it started in December
So relatively new,
of
yeah.
2022.
Does it just give a single level? What the hell? Doesn't show anything. Oh wait, here's the 3 month. Oh,
Chris, it's the first one if you want to get from yesterday's to today.
oh
OI
yeah,
source line of code is correct. To get the open interest change, plot OI net change, OI underscore
yeah, Chris. This is I think this is on 2 days, but this kind of works all right to see the OI change from the day before.
That K-City?
Today it actually kind of showed like the chop area. You kind of look at it. There's like high amounts, say 50-30. A bunch of sold puts at 50-25. I think that's like around where the low was. Right. And then, yeah, 75. You can see all the calls. And the put ceiling.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, 39 was the low. How do you tell it was sold puts? Because the change. See, it's negative. It's not positive. The change from the day before in the past 2 days. I forget what I have it to set to. There has been net put selling at 50-25 as opposed to buying. So the OI's gone down. Negative 26 or negative 260, 39.
By the way, I have a question for the fucking current chat in here. So I was gonna do some name changes to the exposures, and that's
Oh
because
boy.
I know it's the same math, it's just different names because I think people get confused as to what's important and what's not. I think the word dealer means high importance. So if I were to change the name to like dealer adjusted gamma exposure instead of like delta adjusted gamma exposure, would that be like more of an important thing to look at? Probably, I think.
It makes it.
Just by switching the words around, people like automatically are like, "Oh shit, wait a sec, you should have just told me that the whole time." What
We can
the
still say de-adjusted.
Yeah, that's true.
hell? Um, but yeah, so I was gonna do that. I want to keep like a naive calculation of gamma exposure just 'cause it's not I don't know, it's not like something I would use, but it's like I don't know, I could get rid of it if I can.
Don't.
Okay,
Bro,
yeah, all right.
chill.
All right, fine,
It
fine,
was
fine. We're gonna
working really, really well a couple weeks ago.
all right, we're gonna have 5 versions of gamma exposure. Does anyone use skew adjusted? Like actually?
I don't know.
Uh-uh.
I
Okay.
try to look at it sometimes, but usually it's just like
It moves too fast, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
figured.
mean, sometimes you can see like the tops and bottoms, but like usually it's just like the top level on raw gamma or the bottom level on raw gamma.
I'll make a poll. If no one uses skew adjusted game exposure, I might take that off and then add like a new type that will have explanations, don't worry. It'll all be pretty self-explanatory in the names. I'm hoping to get the point across through the names themselves, but we'll see.
I
Um,
would say keep the names just as accurate to what they are as possible.
yeah. It's just like some of the name like I could do dealer adjusted, delta adjusted gamma exposure, but like you know what I mean? Like they're almost like adjusted in two senses. It's like a super mutated version of gamma exposure. So like the name would be super long. Dealer delta gamma exposure. Dealer delta gamma exposure. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but um maybe some polls in the future. Yeah, I don't think anyone really utilizes skew adjusted as much as I had intentionally thought it would be used for. I know some people were using it for like spreads. I don't know if they still do, and I don't know if they are still in here, so might just not do that. I'll take a poll. If there's even one person that's using it, I'll keep it, but if there's not, I'll get rid of it.
I remember some, yeah, a few people saying they use
I mean,
speed.
if you're gonna do the spread class, and a lot of people use spread, then that number
True.
might go. So just keep it around for now.
True.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna do that, and then I mean, eventually, what I'd really like to do is have those reversion levels as almost like a omni tool. Like, what else would you need if you could get like a massive pump and massive dump off of like two specific levels
Honestly,
made?
if you have the reversal level, dude, you just don't even really need to do anything besides wait for the
Exactly,
level
right?
and see
Exactly.
if it's gonna happen. Like, there, there, there.
Yeah, like
Like,
there's not
if you
even
caught any of those, if you bought that, if you sold this, like you shorted that.
Yeah, I was talking about that with Mitchell. I was like, if we were to drop this, like I feel like there wouldn't be a need for almost anything ever. Like like what's the point in any other tool if you're making money off of one and it's very consistent, if not always consistent. Gio, weren't you going to add the positive and negative skews with the mode and mean on the exposure? Yeah, that's still something we're doing. Right now, everything like all our hands are tied until we can get our server moved, which I was told is going to be Thursday, this Thursday. So once our server's moved, we can get moving on what we plan on implementing. Um it's I keep the server hotel shit that I was talking about before.
Surfer hotel.
The server hotel. Um realistic date. Um fucking I have no clue, honestly. Um I don't want to give no dates because then it's like when it doesn't happen, you know,
Just say like Christmas.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
And then if it comes before, you're a hero.
Yeah, very Elon of you. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. Fucking love that guy.
In one of the hidden oil rigs. It's probably an old building, Tom G, because it's
Uh,
got to be built out of freaking concrete.
it
If
looks like a
it's a data center.
it looks like a prison.
Exactly, yeah. It's a giant concrete building with no windows,
Yeah.
like that
Just,
AT&T one
yeah,
downtown. That's like
yeah.
ominous as hell. Yeah,
It's
that's a
legit
giant.
just go ahead.
I was just saying, it's a giant switch. They're made
Yeah.
to like survive, earthquakes and nuclear blasts. So if anything happens, the infrastructure's still there.
Damn. Twin towers in LA. Based singular tower. Um, it's just one big ass fucking building made of concrete, no windows, and it just has ACs and computers inside.
Yeah, those things are fucking loud when you walk into them too. It's like the entire
Yeah.
building's humming.
See ya, brother. I think we should
EMP
be ending
proof.
it soon.
Yeah,
EMP proof? I hope
I
so.
I think they are. There's multiple reasons why they're all made out of concrete.
Yeah.
I've been in a ton of them. I used to work for the phone company a while back.
Um, I need to go run and get some dinner, so I think I'm going to end the Zoom now.
All
If
right.
anyone has any further questions, please feel free to ask in the Discord and I will answer while eating. Sheen's SMT strat helped me pass my combine this week. I'm glad. That's the
Hell
point.
yeah.
That's what we're trying to do here, man. Trying to make you guys some money. Um, yes, more strategies to come. Main focus right now is simplifying all of our tools. We have a few ideas on how we want to structure a lot of stuff. Um, but obviously any ideas or changes that we plan on making are going to be announced to you guys before even making them, so we don't, you know, like make the changes and everyone hates us. So, um, yeah. All right. See you guys.
Hey,
Dev
yo.
help you need in front end
Later.
coding. Oh, if you're a dev and want to help us, there's a forum we have in our Discord. Just say hi or something. Say hi, I'm a dev. Um and we'll get back to you.
I'm
Good
a
night,
dev,
everyone.
but I don't know Node.js.
Oh
Will you
yeah,
pay me if I learn it? I know JavaScript.
honestly, yeah. I mean, better you than honestly a lot of other people at least who
Yeah,
know the
okay, well, we'll
platform.
we'll talk about that later then, because that'd be nice. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd probably save me here. All right, well, I'm gonna stop the recording.
See you
All right.
guys.